What attitude must we have about objections to overcome them? How do we improve our ability to overcome objections? How will you feel if you invest the time to do this? I ask again, what attitude must we have about objections to overcome them? I can't wait to hear them. Bring them on. I am prepared for anything. I love a challenge. They are normal and should be expected. How do we improve our ability to overcome objections? The more knowledgeable that you are about your company's products and services, the better. Know the common objections and memorize how to respond for best results. How will you feel if you invest the time to do this? Like you are unstoppable. Objections are the least of your concerns. Minimal stress, anxiety, and frustration. You actually like it when new objections come up. At this point in the e-learning module, we are going to cover the 5 steps to overcoming objections. This is not the only method for managing objections. It is, however, an extremely effective technique or process for many situations. As we review each step, you will be provided with an explanation and some examples. You may want to review this section several times, and you are also encouraged to take notes for later reference. Here is an excellent process that you can leverage when responding to objections. Step 1. Cushion. Step 2. Restate. Step 3. Isolate. Step 4. Answer. Step 5. Commitment. Let's review each of the steps in detail. Step 1. Cushion the objection. Show empathy. Soften the objection. When appropriate, compliment or congratulate them. Acknowledge and validate the objection. Be agreeable. Examples. I appreciate your concern. Thanks for sharing that with me. That really is an important point. I agree. If that had happened to me, I would also be upset, concerned, etc. That makes a lot of sense. It could also be looked upon as, I understand, and I'm sure I'd feel the same way if. As a matter of fact, I was in the same position. Many customers felt very much the same way until. A lot of people in your position share that concern. That's a reasonable position to take. That's a good or great question. That brings up an interesting question. You have a point, and you are entitled to an explanation. I know, I felt very much the same way. Step 2. Paraphrase or restate. Clarify or confirm. Examples. So what you're saying is, so what you're telling me is, it sounds like, if I'm understanding or hearing you correctly. In other words, are you saying, do you mean to tell me? Let me see if I've got this right. As I understand it, you feel that. Does that mean that your feeling is that? The real question is, then to go one step further, Step 3. At this specific point in the conversation, you want to make sure that this is the only obstacle that is preventing you from advancing the sale. Therefore, you must isolate and question the objection and/or objections. Get them all out on the table. Reach for understanding. Ask for open-mindedness. Examples. Are they receptive or will they consider ... Other than this, is there anything else? If we could resolve this, do you feel ... If we could find a way to solve this problem ... Is that the only reason ... If it weren't for ... What is it about ... that concerns you? Why is that important to you? Step 4. Answer and educate. This is the tough part. This is where you are going to have to learn to think for yourself. Students often want all the answers spoon-fed to them. The problem with this mentality is that every time you are presented with an unfamiliar obstacle, you have to go back and ask for the miracle response for the latest objection. The secret is to learn to think for yourself. Leveraging the 5 steps to overcoming objections will help you significantly with this. Once you have mastered the art of presenting reasonable and acceptable responses on the spur of the moment, you will have arrived to a very comfortable place in your journey as a sales professional. In a facilitator-led workshop where role-playing is part of the program, this is the most difficult step for the trainer to help participants with. In some instances, generic responses will work. When responding to objections that are of a technical nature or very industry-specific, however, the appropriate answer will have to come from a subject matter expert. Remember the prospect's needs when answering the objections. Show benefits and explain how the benefits exceed cost. Use third-party examples when appropriate. On the slides that follow, we are going to review 6 techniques for answering objections. The lead-in will be narrated. I recommend you read the text on the slides in order to get comfortable with each of the techniques. These responses were developed for sales and merchandising representatives who sold nutritional products and supplements to retailers.